conscious paradigm must shift to Africa and Global South. This also offers us the irresistible opportunity to reverse the climate emergency and make Africa the green factory of the world, transforming the world's largest unemployed population into highly productive constituents of the ILO movement. This is the conversation we shall be having next week in Paris with my sister Motley. During the global stocktake, it is the discussion that we will be having in Nairobi in the Africa Climate Summit in September, and hopefully it is the discourse we shall finally conclude and underline conclude at COP28 in Dubai in December. To actualize the new paradigm shift in global growth and development, a new development financing architecture is an imperative. It is not tenable, and in fact, I dare say, it is fairly absurd to confront a threat of the magnitude of climate change without a financial mechanism that directs resources on a scale and with the urgency and consistency and speed demanded by this existential. We have benefited tremendously from having a social, political, and economic system defined by work and the contribution of workers. At the heart of our progressive constitution are national values and principles of governance with social justice and all its dimensions, family at the core. As Kenyans, we find no problem whatsoever in accepting that social justice provides solutions for the most urgent and pressing issues of our time. I am delighted to note that this summit has not been shy to confront even uncomfortable subjects, including the need to make significant progress in democratizing the International Labour Organization as part of enhancing social justice, all the way from the workplace to international relations, as well as the urgent matter of just transition to give the world a better chance of actualizing the global aspiration of a better future of work. I commend you for recognizing the importance of these matters and addressing them in a committed, serious, and solution-oriented manner. The ILO system is worker-oriented in that it primarily represents workers' interests. Yet, labor rights are affected by both employment and unemployment. It should concern us very deeply that unemployment rates in Africa are some of the world's highest, with many countries reporting between a quarter and a third of their populations not engaged in secure, productive employment. As we speak about matters pertaining to work, we must also speak about the millions of jobless people whose voices cannot be heard at a conference like this. The aspirations of the unemployed matter and should be seen to matter, especially for ILO. Social justice for all makes it imperative to expand the social dialogue from the tripartite model, I suggest, to a four-sided forum of workers, the unemployed, employers, and government. Governments, employers, and workers must be equally concerned about the unemployment crisis and committed to finding sustainable solutions to it in order to bring the majority of the world's population into the ILO's traditional constituency. Majority of the world's unemployed people live in the global south, and especially in the continent that I come from. On average, Africa invests 30% of its annual budgets, or $150 billion, on educating and training of its youth and workforce. Only 30% of them join the workforce, and all the way to 70% stay unemployed. What a waste. This perennial waste of human capital and productive opportunity must squarely form part of the most urgent concerns of workers, employers, as well as governments. Traditionally, it has always been a concern of the unemployed and government. I believe we will score serious breakthroughs when we incorporate unemployment and the unemployed into the social dialogue, and therefore suggest that for social justice to become a reality and for this World of Work Summit to live up to its description, we must expand the scope of social dialogue to bring these millions of jobless.
Are you coming towards the end of your career and you're starting to worry that you've run out of time to build the life you always wanted? I got to 60 and it dawned on me that as things were, I was never going to have the house at the beach, the money to travel, or the pensions and savings that I needed in these somewhat turbulent times. But in this video, I'll show you how I managed to turn that around and get to the life I always imagined and the pension that I thought I deserved. You see, my wife and I, we sold up everything in London and bought a place out here in the Alentejo in Portugal, and we turned it into a cafe restaurant and a bed and breakfast. And then 2020, no guests, no income, literally on my laptop day after day watching my savings sucked out by living expenses. And there was nothing I could do. I mean, I couldn't travel to get another job. And then a friend of mine said I should take my experience and see if I can do something online. You see, the online world is booming. More and more people are going online. And I can't think of any career or any job in any industry that doesn't translate to an online income if the right skills are applied. So I thought, a good idea. So I went online, and after 2 or 3 weeks, I came across this crowd of people who offered to help. If you click the link below, might be above on your computer, I'll send you their details. And they offered some free training videos, chat groups, and some help. And it was really amazing. I mean,
we have to find clarity on the question of whether technology promotes or undermines employment and job creation. We must exploit the opportunity of social dialogue to deepen and enrich our collective understanding on this matter and to reconcile our diverse positions on the implications of technological disruption in the workplace. In this regard, this forum provides the perfect platform to mobilize the best ideas into the development of policies and programs that promote new occupations and frontier jobs in the digital ecosystem. I would like to illustrate the immensity of the promise of this second social dialogue momentum by using the example of Kenya. To implement our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, we have committed significant investment to develop 100,000 kilometers of last-mile fiber optic connectivity under our digital superhighway pillar. Additionally, we have entered a partnership to develop necessary infrastructure to provide 25,000 Wi-Fi hotspots at market centers throughout Kenya. Further, we are in the process of constructing 1,450 ICT hubs so that every county assembly in the Republic of Kenya will become a center of digital learning, business transaction, commerce, and work. We are committed to empowering Kenyans to tap into the emerging opportunities of the digital economy and to connect and engage globally while enjoying the comfort of their villages. Faced with an increasingly uncertain future, which abounds with relentless complexity, it is our duty as government and employers to do all we can to increase the number of people represented in conferences like this as workers. Social justice for all is never going to be free of charge or famously cheap. And we happened to have settled the most important unasked question of this summit: who bears the burden of social justice for all? We can and must realign our international financing framework to provide us with a strong fighting chance in the war against climate change. What I propose is neither wishful nor unheard of in terms of nature, scope, or speed of necessary change. Existing financial system, which has been in place for 78 years, and I'm talking about the international multilateral financial system that exists today, it was crafted out of a series of meetings that took place in a small town called Bretton Woods in the United States over the course of only 1 month. It just took 1 month for us to come up with the financial architecture that exists today in July 1945. Let me give you another example. In 1989, after the fall of the Berlin Wall, it took European leaders only 6 months to set up the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. More recently, another example. In June 2022, less than 4 months after the beginning of the war in Ukraine, Germany modified its fundamental law to enable it to raise $110 billion to strengthen its defense.
It is scientifically proven that you can last for hours and hours with this African secret with your partner if you are 45, 55, or 65 years old or older. So don't skip this video. Imagine being able to surprise any woman when you go to bed at night. Many men don't believe it's possible, but nowadays there are treatments for premature ejaculation. Researchers have discovered an African tribe where men last more than 2 hours with their partners thanks to a morning ritual they have been doing since childhood, which gives them these powerful characteristics in their tool. This ritual can increase blood flow by 342% to your friend down there, and it will get as hard as a rock. Day after day, your tool will become more potent, and I'm not talking about medications or the famous blue pill that promises miracles, but only brings side effects, which makes it hard to believe. I wouldn't believe it either. But I was able to experience it and have more energy in bed with my wife, lasting much longer and providing more pleasure through this 30-second African ritual, regardless of age or size. It saved my relationship. If you still don't believe me, I invite you to click on the Watch Now button appearing on your screen and discover it for yourself. Take advantage while the video is still available, so click on the blue button on your screen and don't miss this opportunity.
Satan plays an enormous role in religion. Find out if Satan has infiltrated your church.
Evil is closer than you think. Is your church really teaching you the plain truth that Jesus Christ taught?